Welcome back to my channel. It is Christina K. I was so excited. I was getting ready this morning and I found my Great Movie Ride t-shirt and it totally inspired the theme for today's video. So I'm in the process of getting ready, but I wanted to sit down and film really quick because I feel like this is something that's going to be so relatable, and I hope we'll start a conversation with you guys in the comments below. Things we miss most about Walt Disney World. I picked 10 things. It was very hard to narrow it down, but here we go. So the first thing, and I think my sister would absolutely kill me if I did not put this as number one, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Oh my goodness, that is her favorite ride of all time. We've been on the one in Disneyland. It's not the same as the one that used to be in Walt Disney World. That one had 2 tracks, there was different scenes. A lot of the Disneyland rides I feel like are, for the most part, more condensed versions of what we have in Disney World, except for like their Pirates. Their Pirates is just phenomenal. I want to do a comparison video soon, but their Mr. Toad, it's not the same. So the one in Walt Disney World, I definitely missed. Now, I was going to put Snow White's Scary Adventure on the list, but that one is almost the same in Disneyland as it used to be in Walt Disney World, but that is definitely something I miss as well. So Mr. Toad was where the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh is now currently, and Snow White was where the Princess Fairy Tale Hall is, where you meet the princesses. When they put the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, I guess they felt like they didn't really need both, so they got rid of that one. I miss it, but Mr. Toad, man, things are not the same. And you know how beloved that one is when you still to this day see merchandise popping up in Walt Disney World, not just Disneyland, but in Walt Disney World for Mr. Toad. So definitely miss Mr. Toad. The second thing that's on my list, keeping in theme with Magic Kingdom, Spectro Magic. I feel like you were either a Main Street Electrical Light Parade or Spectro Magic. I love them both, but I love Spectro Magic so much. I miss the music. I miss the ride. Oh my god, the ride vehicles, the floats. Oh, first of all, we need a nighttime parade in Magic Kingdom. We're kind of lacking it. The rumor was that Paint the Night was gonna come. We haven't gotten anything. I don't know. Hopefully, you would think this would be the time with the Celebrate Mickey that we would get something, but no, we haven't. Third on the list is also nighttime Magic Kingdom related wishes. Don't get me wrong, I do love Happily Ever After, but I also do really miss Wishes. Wishes was around for a good chunk of my childhood growing up. The soundtrack was amazing, although Happily Ever After, whew, brings me to tears. But I do miss that. I wish it was like an every other night kind of thing, or I know they don't have the money for this, but how cool would it be if, you know how there was like 2 showings of the parade every night? What if there was like a Wishes at like 8 and then like Happily Ever After at 10? That's a little much. Saying that out loud, I'm like, that's a lot. But there are people who are gonna be like, how awesome would that be? They'd be on board with that. So yeah, one can only dream. Going over to Hollywood Studios now, I miss the old Hollywood theme as a whole. So like the Great Movie Ride, that one completely wrecked me when they announced that that was leaving. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad, I think is what it's called, is coming sometime this year, probably after Star Wars at this point, if not early next year. There's no release date on that. It kind of looks like, to me, from what I've seen from artist renderings, it looks like the track stays the same, and it's going to be this runaway railroad that like spins around and goes to different screens of like old-fashioned movies, which I guess that would kind of sound like a Toy Story I don't know why I'm doing this. That would kind of sound like a Toy Story Mania kind of thing, where you go from screen to screen and it like spins in between. I feel like that's what's going to happen for that. So I'm sure it's going to be great, but the Great Movie Ride, what was your favorite scene, by the way, from the Great Movie Ride? Because I know a lot of people are missing this. Comment below. I would love to hear that, and I would love to hear the stuff that you are missing as well. I also really miss the backlot, the original backlot. It's gone through a lot of phases over the years where they would like take the houses away. Like they had the house from the Golden Girls and Adventures in Wonderland out there. I remember the very first time I went to the Osborne Spectacle of Lights, you could actually walk and take pictures in front of those houses, and I have a picture in front of the Golden Girls house, which was so iconic. I miss that so much. I miss all that kind of like old school Hollywood Studios stuff. Actually, not even Hollywood Studios, MGM Studios, let's be real. Another thing in Hollywood Studios, I mean, there's quite a few things in Hollywood Studios that I miss. It's been 30 years of the park. Happy birthday, by the way, Hollywood Studios. But something that I think everyone can agree, and it just has not been the same holidays in Disney since they took out the Osborne family spectacle of dancing lights. it's like I'm at a loss for words, because that was just one of the most mind-blowing things they ever did. And when they ripped out the streets of New York, they got rid of that. Now, it used to be bigger, I feel, back in the day, when they did have the back lot and you could go by the houses, and there was just miles and miles of these dancing lights. Ugh, I miss it. I miss it. Holidays are still great, and they brought in Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam. It does not compare to it. It's a show. And then they have this thing, what is it called, with Tower of Terror that they've done? Flurry of Fun? Was it Flurry of Fun? Flurries of Fun? Something like that. And it's not the same. Not the same. All right, next we're hightailing it on over to Epcot. If you see Must Do Disney, that's what Stacy says. Must Do Disney is on the TVs. We're gonna talk about Must Do Disney a lot, because I totally want that job. I think I would love to do what Stacy does. She's great, but oh my God, that would be the dream. That's what's Channel 5, I think, in most of the hotel rooms in Disney, where she tells you things that you must do in Walt Disney World. They have to update that, by the way. There's a lot of things that aren't even on there, like Toy Story Land's not even on there. Pandora's not even on there. Just saying. So, Future World. What Future World used to be. 3 attractions in particular. The OG Journey into Imagination. I miss that with Dreamfinder. There's like no Dreamfinder representation anymore. Figment used to be out in the parks all the time. Granted, I love that he's being celebrated again. I said this in my last Walt Disney World haul, that he's finally like on merchandise and people are loving Figment. But the ride is like so lacking. It's gone through so many changes over the years, but the original one was my favorite. And then the original ImageWorks was my favorite. I don't know if any of you guys remember this. This is like early 90s we're talking. There was a bunch of interactive things that you could do when you got off the ride. And one of the things was you hold this paintbrush and then you could actually like paint along with Figment, this big, I guess it was like a TV screen. Oh my God, I miss that so much. I mean, ImageWorks went through a lot of changes over the years. It actually was upstairs at one point too. I think that was the second version of Imagination. Now that's a Disney Vacation Club lounge, which we'll talk about in my DVC video on the way. But oh yeah. Oh my God, I miss the OG Imagination. I also miss, so before it was Test Track, it was World of Motion. I honestly remember a lot of this through videos on YouTube. And even videos, I think my dad took, I think they're on VHS though, videos of right before it closed of what that used to be. That whole area of Future World, it used to be where Test Track is, used to be World of Motion, then where Mission Spaces was Horizons. That is one of the things I miss the most. If you can go on YouTube and find the Horizons, well, you're on YouTube, but if you can find the Horizons video, it is so worth it. I loved that so much. And then we had Wonders of Life, which had Cranium Command and Body Wars, and there was really cool interactive things there too. There was like one thing where you like lay and it was a bike and you actually got to bike yourself around like Main Street and Walt Disney World. That was cool. And then you had Universe of Energy, which Wonders of Life Pavilion is the one's tucked away in the corner. That is for like Food and Wine Festival. It's like the festival building. And now where Universe of Energy was, which has gone through changes over the years. I loved the one with Ellen. I'm such an Ellen fan, and Bill Nye. That's going to be the Guardians of the Galaxy coaster, which is massive. And then you have Body Wars, and then you had Horizons and World of Motion. I miss that. I miss that so, so much. Also in Epcot, I got a lot of things at Epcot on this list. The Odyssey. So the Odyssey building's still there, and they really don't ever open it much for things. I think for the 30th, was it the 30th or the 35th anniversary? Yeah, it must have been the 35th anniversary of Epcot that I was there for. Yeah. They opened that for like, they had an exhibit of like Epcot when it first opened to today, all the changes that it's gone through. It's gone through a lot of changes, that park. And then they've had it open for Festival of the Arts, and they've had it open for Food and Wine, for stuff, just exhibits and food and stuff. Or like a painting class, I think. Was it a painting class or a cooking class? A wine class? Something they had for Food and Wine. But it used to be a restaurant. And the stage that's there, they used to have characters come out and perform. And from the videos and pictures, I think we just had like hamburgers all the time on those old school, those purple paper cups and dishes that had like the Mickeys, like 5 Mickeys, I think it was, like sitting across. Oh, OG. And like they used to just come and perform, and then they would come to your table. So that was like the original character dining in Disney, and I loved the Odyssey. I am a performer, so I loved watching the characters perform. I'm all about dinner and a show, and that was really cool. And I think that was technically a quick service place. I don't think that was like a sit down, even though those terms weren't a thing back then. Okay, 2 more things when it comes to Epcot. One, I'm just gonna clump this as one, the Land Pavilion. You used to have Kitchen Cabaret. I love Soarin', don't get me wrong. I think it was a very smart move for Soarin', but it would be nice where like the Circle of Life Theater is if Kitchen Cabaret was like still there. Like they could have updated it, because if you don't remember, it's when they took vegetables, or like not just vegetables, but healthier foods, and they like changed lyrics to like popular songs. So it was like Food Rocks was all rock stuff. Kitchen Cabaret had like a mixture of things. And it was just so cool. And I love those kind of parodies. So it'd be really cool to see today, maybe them doing that with like more modern songs. That would be cool. Also, where, is it still called Sunshine Seasons Food Fair? No, it's not. What is it called? Why can't I think of what it's called? They had like a more of like a food court style. Like, you know how in the in the value resorts, they have like, you know, quick service places, their food courts. It used to be like that in the Land, and there used to be like different like booths set up, and it was like a fair, and you could go and get like, you could get burgers, or you could get the salads were good. I remember the salads being good. I remember the ice cream being good too. But they had like different, you know, setups for that, and it was so cool because they had something for everyone, and you could get whatever you like. The food's very different over there now. I mean, they kind of have like a more modern theme with it, but I loved the original of that so much. And the last thing in Epcot that I miss so much is the original Test Track. Before, I guess, Chevrolet bought them, it was very different, and it was actually like what they do to put the car through the paces when they're testing it out. The pre-show was great. I remember the button clicking noise, and then I loved that. I just miss that so much. Now you design your car, and then like you compete, and it's weird. There's a lot of unnecessary things happening. They really simplified it, and it's just not as fun. I hadn't been on it in a while because I forgot how much I really did not like the new one. And one of my coworkers, when we went down in February, was like, I really want to go on Test Track. I loved Test Track. And we got off, and she's like, what happened to Test Track? Yeah. So it's not just me that feels that way. If you did too, please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on old Test Track versus the new one. The original Polynesian lobby. I miss the big waterfalls, but even before it had all that too, there were like actual like macaws and exotic birds that used to be in the lobby too. And the smell of fresh air, you still get that when you walk in, but it used to be heightened when all that was there, those plants and everything. And even when you like first walked in and you have the ponds, they had like koi fish in there. It was beautiful. I miss that. The Polynesian's like my favorite. And it was just hard when they took that away. I get why they did it. They wanted more space. They wanted you to be able to see the castle when you walked in. I get it, but I still miss it a lot. So I would love to know the things you miss most about Walt Disney World. Look, I could be here for hours telling you things that I miss, but I would love to hear what your thoughts are. Your like top 10 or maybe top 5. You could leave that in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video if you like stuff like this. Actually, looking around my studio right now, I'm seeing so many things that represent old Disney World. Wait, let's take you on a tour. Look at this Epcot little thing here. I've got some Vinylmations from Kitchen Cabaret. Oh, I forgot about him. And Horizons. The butler in Horizons. Remember that? Oh. And like, look how cute this plush was. This is when imagination was still good. We've got a little representation on the shirt there. World Showcase. The old Disney bags. Oh man, if I do this video again in a year of things I miss, the plastic bags is going to be on the list. Let's see. We also have another thing from Kitchen Cabaret up there. Wow, this is like a very good old school Disney representation. One of my favorite things in Disney, these signs. Oh my God, I love these signs. Indiana Jones, by the way, see Indiana Jones Mickey, that will still be staying. They're going to change it next year though to keep up with the new movie, but they are going to keep that in Hollywood Studios, so that was good news this week. I'll just zoom out so you can see this whole fixture as a whole. I got this guy at Home Goods and just Disneyfied it. I made another one of these for soundproofing for my studio, but I just noticed while I was filming that I did have a couple of like old school things in here, but Mr. Toad was one of them. Alright, so I had to show you some of that stuff really quick. If you saw my first merch haul video, I had that Dory shirt that said easily distracted. I told you I'd prove that to you in these next couple of videos, so I'm standing by my word. Thank you so much for joining me on this video. I would love to know what the things are that you miss most about Walt Disney World. I mean, I could go on and on and on, but I want to know what you have to say. So comment below, like this video, give it a thumbs up if you want to see more stuff like this, and I hope you will subscribe and join me back for more videos. I have a lot of cool stuff on the way. Before I go, quickly, the ears, I know I'm gonna get like comments like, where did you get the ears? They were a gift from a listener for Mouseketeer Radio, which was my Disney podcast, a while ago. Never really said if she made them or she bought them from Etsy. It looks like Etsy. I mean, they're so cute. I'm a sucker for the monorail. So I don't know. That's another thing I miss. Oh my God, the old monorail voice. Oh, I have to add that to the list. I knew this was gonna happen. Also the shirt, this was the farewell shirt. I can stand up a little bit so you can see it. When the Great Movie Ride was closing. See, that's a wrap, 2017. So they don't sell this anymore. I have the pass holder one of this as well. But they do have a Great Movie Ride shirt, a Mr. Toad shirt, a Skyway shirt up at shopdisney.com right now. I don't know what sizes are left, but I did get my eye on those a while ago. Hopefully they'll still be in the parks because I really want the Great Movie Ride one. But yeah, comment, subscribe, like. Thank you so much. I'm Christina K. Have a Disney day. Now I can get ready for work.